One time I was cruising around rural Kyrgyzstan with my buddy PTSD Lee, and these guys on horses came up, and I was like, hey, stop the car, Lee. And I got out, and one of them dropped a dead, mangled goat on my head. And Lee was like, oh, yeah, watch out, they're playing goat pole. And I was like, oh, that's fucking weird. So we got in the car and drove back to Bishkek. There were some sheep, but we said, get out of here, sheep. So I went to the National Stadium to watch some sports. And people there were wearing these big felted penis things on their heads. And I was like, where's the sports? And then the sports started, and it was goat pole. And everybody was on horses wrestling over these dead goats. That's how you win goat pole. Then at halftime, the big eagle hunter guys came out with eagles on their arms, and this guy flung live pigeons around with a string. And the eagles swooped around, and the crowd of felted penis heads loved it until the eagles started going berserk and ripped some people's eyeballs out. And then there was pandemonium for a little while until the goat pole started again. Then PTSD Lee got robbed by cops. Not these cops, different cops. After that, he paid some human traffickers to get him out of the country and said, hey, can you sell my car for me? I don't have any paperwork for it. You'll have to sell it to the Russian mafia. And I was like, sure thing, Lee. And that part of the story got weird and somewhat violent. I peed my pants a little. Let's skip over. But it did work, and I had all this cash, so I convinced this Japanese guy named Sasaki to hitchhike into rural Kyrgyzstan to buy a donkey with me. I was trying to sneak into China. I'm not sure what Sasaki was up to because I didn't ask. But we definitely bought a donkey, a bunk donkey, maybe a handicapped donkey, perhaps a pregnant donkey. But any which way, it could only walk about 2 hours each day. So these nomad children started circling around us being like, hey, you want to see a trick? You guys are idiots. Here, have some alcoholic milk. And they took us to their moms, and their moms were like, oh, these guys are idiots. And the nomads were like, I know, Mom, I told you they're idiots, but can we give them a little bit more alcoholic milk and just see what happens? And that's how I almost killed a donkey.